Good morning and welcome. We are here in Kilgore, Texas at one of our favorite wineries on our wine tour stop, one of our destinations that we come to as often as possible. I wrestled down the owner of the establishment and try and have a conversation with him this morning. Become a dear friend of ours and a dear friend of our business, which is very appreciated, and I thank you for that. But I'm very curious. Start at the beginning. What is your name? Where did this place come from? Give me the genesis of how we got to where we're sitting today.
My name is Britt Davis.
Hello, Britt.
Hello. And so this was the old school. It's called the Old Elder School.
Here in Kilgore.
Here in Kilgore, right on Highway 31. And it had its roots back in the segregation.
Really?
So this was once the colored school.
You're kidding.
At one point. No, this is where they separated all the kids.
Wow.
But before it was just a colored school, it was kind of separated by class.
Okay.
So this is kind of where the roughneck kids came. So this is outside of the city limits.
Yeah.
And then they bus kids in. And I found this building because one of my friends owned it.
Okay.
But to even start with, how did I get to the wine part of it? It's when I was an undergraduate and in college in UC Davis.
Okay.
In California. And so my fraternity brothers were all winemakers.
You're
and
kidding.
They were all into wine.
How interesting.
I got to go out and hang out with them. And
you weren't into wine at the time?
Not at all.
What's your career? What's your background?
I was applied behavioral sciences. So I was on to write greeting cards for Hallmark. No joke. I really did. I really wanted to write Hallmark cards.
From a young age?
From a young age, yes. Because
Did you get the right card and that's what started it? I could do this?
No, I just watched my mother always write cards.
Wow.
And they just meant so much to people. But then I started evolving into this wine thing. It was kind of one of those things that it was kind of cool, but it wasn't like liquor.
Okay.
And so I got to start drinking a little bit and tasting. But before all that, even better, I was driving everyone around, all the seniors in my fraternity. Okay. And they would pay me money to drive them around.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the concept.
Yeah. And now it's called designated drivers. I was a designated driver.
Yeah. Before it was cool.
It was cool. And that was why I could charge them a lot of money.
Okay.
And so I would charge them all and we'd go up to the casinos and things like that.
Okay.
But more and more I started falling in love with wine. And as I traveled and did mission work around the world, in the 6 of the 7 continents, I just started to explore wines from all these different regions.
On your own, just as a part of
just as a part of my life. I said I was going to make it a goal to visit all the major wine regions in the world. And I have not successfully done that. But I'm working towards it.
Yeah, you've hit a big...
I've hit a lot of them. And at that time when I was there, one of the things I noticed, especially in Europe and South Africa and different places, a lot of the difference between old world and new world. And the new world wines were those kind of wines that were just made to be drank. And then I looked at old world wines where they were preparing food with it. So I was always interested in taking, like cooking classes and how do I pair this wine and do all that. And it just blossomed. And so I would come back to the United States and invite my friends over to my house. I said, just come over to my house and try this food and try this wine from where I was at. So it really all kind of just started in my little kitchen in my house.
So you were making meals for friends, pairing wines that you had brought back from travel?
Yes. Okay. And the recipes that I had learned from cooking school in those various regions.
Okay.
Barcelona, France, Greece, all that.
Wow.
And so one of my friends said, man, you should really make this a business. I said, oh. And it was just it blossomed from there. And then this building became available, and then we said, let's do it. We started doing it.
And that was it?
That was it. That's where we all started.
So growing your own or bottling your own wines.
Yes.
Was that further down phase 2, 3, or was that a desire from?
It was never really a desire.
Okay.
Because I had really experienced all these wines from around the world and I wanted to bring wine back to people.
Okay.
And even to this day, though we have our own wines now, I still like to showcase other wines. Yeah. Because I want people to explore the world in wine.
That's what I love about wine.
Yeah.
Is you can go visit these little rustic rural wine towns. And sit in Kilgore, Texas.
Exactly.
And do it.
In Kilgore, Texas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I think one of the things I hear a lot is people say, I'm so glad this is here.
Right.
And we would do things, especially from the hill country. We brought Becker wines in here, and my whole tag was, you don't have to go all the way to the hill country to have a good glass of wine.
Yeah. You can travel the world in your living room.
Yeah. One sip at a time.
That's it.
And that's how we try to do it.
So you're making meals for friends. They say, let's turn it into a business. Do you already own this building?
I own this. No, I haven't owned the building yet. No, I was doing everything out of my living room and my back porch at home.
Okay.
And then we started exploring different places around town. We went to Jack Ryan's at one time.
Yeah.
We've gone to different little venues, the museums.
Okay.
And we just invite people to come in. And so it just evolved.
So explain how the evolution happens from your kitchen table to today.
So that's where we get the concept of Britt's Wine and Dine.
Yeah.
So the way this became about down here more and more is that we were having these dinner pairings at my home. Okay. And this people wanted more and more and just didn't have the room. And so now it's evolved into Britt's Wine and Dine. At one time we called it Corks and Forks.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And so now it's Britt's Wine and Dine, where people come down about 3 times a week. We do different dinner pairings. At times we would take those different regions that we went to. We do burgers. We do all these things that are pretty tangible for people, but we're teaching them how to put it with wine.
Wow.
So now here at Britt's Wine and Dine, we're open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
And then on other days, we have beautiful, tastings on Tuesdays where we can taste.
Okay.
And people can come down here and we can pair. For example, we did a South African night.
Yeah.
And so, we have food from South Africa and we have wines from South Africa.
Right. So
the more and more now it is really involved into getting people to know food regions, getting people to kind of where knowledge begins to taste really good. So we want their knowledge to be something that is palatable. So that's what we're trying to do now.
And is it still the same? Are you still cooking, or do you have staff?
I have some staff, but I'm still fully involved. We're still working through it. I prepare all the menus. I cook all the food. Then I have others come in and help me to serve, and others help me to plate and put it out.
One thing I really love about when they happen, it's strangers from all over East Texas. The following that you've created in this kind of relatively short period of time is absolutely phenomenal. But as soon as you walk through that door, it's like going over to your house and having a meal, because everyone becomes friends within the first course. You move the tables around where people have to kind of meet new people. It's a very, very welcoming and friendly concept early on into the night.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see this long table right here.
Yeah.
We would just sit people at this long table.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we are having problems with is growth. So many people want to come.
Horrible problem.
Yeah, it is, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people want to come, and we really want to keep it as intimate as possible, like you said, home.
Yeah.
So can we keep them at 10 to 20 people?
Yeah.
And, at times when we go over the 40 people, it's kind of, we lose a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But our goal is to keep it between, 12 people to 20 people per setting.
Okay.
And that seems to be a very good number and stuff for us here.
And you're bottling, how many different wines are you bottling?
Right now we're bottling 13 different wines.
You're kidding.
And we've got quite a few more coming out.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, yes. And so.
How many years have you had wine? How many years have you had bottle?
Just one.
Okay.
Just one.
So this is your first vintage.
First vintage. But some of the grapes we had bought prior years. So we have some 2020s, some 2021s, and we blended those. We crafted those different wines to get those flavors.
Yeah.
A lot of things that are going on in the environment, we call it the terroir. So at times, it's drier, it was rainier. So we got some good crops from here, and we found some grapes from there, and we blended them and came up with a really nice, I believe, flavorful wine. That's what we're trying to do.
Okay, so what is next? What's coming up? What have you got going on right now? What are you excited about in Britt's Wine and Dine?
So Britt's Wine and Dine right now, the biggest things are planting our grapes out front.
Oh, fantastic.
We're getting ready to plant our vineyards out front. Yeah. We've got all kinds of new additions to the facility.
Okay.
So when you kind of walk around, we got our party room in there now. kind of stepping back a little bit, we are really becoming a place where companies want to come and hold parties.
Yeah.
We have the room in there where, just like with the tours, they're coming through and experiencing the things that we're doing here.
Yeah.
And the groups are coming in, and we're being better to serve them, working on staff, building building the brand, and just really trying to build this brand that we're out here.
It's so exciting to watch.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And so I'm having a good time doing it.
Good.
It's the main thing. It's a good time.
And kind of taking it chunk by chunk, turning the school into, well, what was the school now into, is it all going to be Britt's Wine and Dine?
Well, for the most part, this back section will be Britt's Wine and Dine.
Got it.
And so we have the tasting room here and then production in there. And we'd like to see up in the front, like dinner theater. We've had some inquiries about different types of bourbon tasting rooms and small little shops. And we're even thinking of maybe little bed and breakfasts. And I don't know the best word to use for them, like rooms or like a little inns, and people can rent out a room that has a theme to it. And so that's kind of been a very exciting point for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the vineyards are the biggest thing out there. We're getting ready to go in now.
And when this spring?
We just got irrigation in, and in April, this spring, we'll start planting all the grapes.
Okay.
And so we're looking at maybe 3 years before big harvest, a good harvest.
Yeah.
And then by that time, we'll have all of our tanks in the room.
Yeah.
And we'll be fully functional as a winery here.
That's really one thing that's fun is, so we're bringing tours every weekend almost right now. And every weekend there's something
different
added, right? The patio, the outdoor areas growing, I saw the irrigation last Saturday and was, this is going to be interesting.
Yes.
You can kind of see where it's going to kind of grow out.
All the lines.
Yeah. Very, very
all
cool.
the rows of grapes will be. Yeah. So that's good.
And I see behind us, or behind the camera, we've got a bit more than just wine. There's some crafts back there. Is this kind of things also that you found along the way, or?
Yeah, and the more and more, I really want, again, we're getting back to this education, wine education, and how do we pair things that are out there right now. So we want to offer people things they can put together right here and they can take back home with them. Popcorn, sausages, meats, olive oils, all those type of things. Really want to be a one-stop place where people can come in and get all their gourmet treats and things like that.
Yeah, and it's definitely growing into that.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we've got, things you can put your wine in. We got aerators, we have corkscrews, we have wine carriers, handcrafted stuff, things from local artisans. And so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. And then behind us, these are from all over here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
These are also your personal collection and selection?
A lot of it is. Part of it is, but more than that, we've had more people saying, we're looking for this. We want this. And we become this place. If you look kind of at our wine trail in East Texas, Kilgore sits in the middle of all these around us.
Yeah.
And so I hear often people say, we just don't have to drive as far anymore. We're really glad you're here.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing what else. Can you find this for us? Are you able to get this? And the more and more they're finding out that we can obtain certain wines and things for them, we're having them here on the shelves.
Yeah.
And
That's a great point. Even in our business on the tour side, as you kind of connect the East region with the West region, and it breaks the windshield time. It's a kind of a great treat in the middle. And so, it's been fantastic geographically, in East Texas and in a wine region that's kind of, individually growing, and then kind of found out everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's excited about everyone's wines. It's super exciting to be a part of.
It's a lot of fun to see. But the one thing too, the other added element I get to bring is that they're just not only going to get my wine from this region. I got wines from France. I have wines from Spain. I have wines from South Africa. I have wines from all these different regions. So it gives people a variety to come in and taste. Now, not everyone's going to like every wine I produce. But if I can show them something else, they're going to come back. And that's been a big advantage I have here.
Again, your client retention has been
amazing.
Very, very supportive. And
I've got very good guests and clients who come in.
Yeah.
And it's like our wine club. We call it our Founders Club.
Yeah.
So our Founders Club were those original 50 people who came in and put up money and said, we're going to help and support you.
How cool.
And so now we're into our VIP club.
Okay.
Where people can come in and buy into that and be a part of what's going on here. They get part of the direction of what we're doing. Yeah. They get about 9 bottles of wine every year.
Okay.
So we don't want to overwhelm people with too much wine. We want them to drink the wine. We want them to enjoy the wine right now. And then we have other parties for them every month where they can come in and taste wines from all around the different world, from different vintners and stuff like that. So
again, it's so exciting to see what's going on here. And I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for kind of taking us through how this all started. I'm excited about a long, prosperous friendship and relationship, and we try and tell all our guests that come through our tours to come to your pairing dinners and do our best to make our customers your customers. So again, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you on one of our tours here in the East Texas area. We do wine tasting tours in and around East Texas to showcase the vineyards and wineries that this wine area has to offer. We're going to be doing a few different videos with different wineries in this series, so look for that. And if we don't see you before then, we'll see you on a tour.